Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Arjun Chowdhury. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 12th of November. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in UK for his 3-day state visit. The United States offers to restore ties between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And Ghani government assures action against militants for targeting minority community members. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who reached the United Kingdom for a 3-day state visit, received the Guard of Honour in London. This is a first visit to the UK by an Indian Prime Minister in the past 1 decade.
Energy, defence and climate change issues are expected to feature in talks between the Indian and British government officials. During his 3-day visit, Mr. Modi is to address the British Parliament, CEO's Forum, have lunch with Queen Elizabeth II and address as many as 60,000 Indians at Wembley, the largest stadium in the UK. Before leaving for his visit, PM Modi tweeted that he is hopeful that the trip will strengthen economic ties between India and the UK and bring more investment to India.
In a bid to fix Pakistan's rocky relationship with Afghanistan, US officials visited Islamabad on a 2-day visit. The relationship between Pakistan and Afghanistan has strained in the recent times after a surge in Taliban-led violence in Afghanistan.
Ahead of Pakistan Army Chief General Raheel Sharif's United States visit, US President Barack Obama's advisor Peter Lavoie and acting US Special Envoy for Afghanistan and Pakistan Laurel Miller visited Islamabad. Afghanistan is said to be one of the top agenda of General Sharif's talks with his American interlocutors. The ties between the two nations soared as Afghanistan blamed Pakistan of sheltering Taliban leaders on their soil. Lavoie, during his visit to Islamabad, said Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani was sincere in making peace with Pakistan and that his outburst after the terrorist strike in Kabul was because of his domestic compulsions. Afghanistan has seen a spike in Taliban-led violence after the confirmation of the death of their longtime leader, Mullah Omar. The insurgents had also briefly captured the country's Kunduz province in September. Afghanistan has said that it does not want Pakistan to host peace talks for them with Taliban leaders before it reins in the Taliban, who are said to be operating from Pakistan.
The Pakistan government has claimed that it has sealed 102 Islamic seminaries or madrasas for promoting extremism. The government also claims to have frozen bank accounts linked to many proscribed militant groups in the country. Here is a report from Islamabad.
Pakistan's Interior Minister Chaudhry Nisar Ali Khan claimed that 87 madrasas in Sindh and 13 in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa provinces which were promoting radical Islam have been shut down. 2 seminaries have also been sealed in Punjab, where a number of students were found in contact with radical groups. The government also claimed that it has frozen over $9 million stacked in 126 accounts linked to proscribed terror organizations in Pakistan. The step was part of government's strategies to choke terror finance. Madrasas are free and independent schools where religion is taught as the main subject. These institutes provide free education to the students and give them degree in Islamic Sharia. Since many years, such seminaries have been a source of concern for the international community as links were found between Pakistani madrasas and international terror organizations. A 9/11 US Commission report dubbed madrasas as incubators for violent extremism.
Glaciers in Gilgit-Baltistan are melting rapidly due to degradation of forests and collapse of ecosystem. Environmental changes are becoming a threat to lives and property of people.
The threat of floods looms large in Gilgit-Baltistan as deforestation and environmental pollution are contributing to global warming, say environmentalists. The rise in temperature has intensified melting of glaciers in the region. Environmentalists believe that rapid melting of glaciers is due to illegal cutting down of forests, as the timber mafia is very active in the region.
ग्लेशियर्स का जो पिघलने का जो अमल है उसमें मेन इशू तो बेसिकली जो नेचुरल जो फॉरेस्ट है उसकी कटिंग का भी है। उसके अलावा ख़ुद यहाँ पे जो आलूदगी, अब ये जो इलाके हैं ये उससे रूरल से बढ़ के जो है अब अर्बन की तरफ गए हैं, तो अर्बन की तरफ जब बंदा जाता है तो वहाँ की जो आलूदगी है उसका भी बड़ा असर है। उस एक साइड का असर आप नहीं कह सकते हैं, मगर बेहतर ये है कि मुकामी सतह पर जब फॉरेस्ट की कटिंग को रोका जाए और यहाँ की आलूदगी पर काबू पाया जाए तो ये इनका जो असर है वो कम होगा और ग्लेशियर्स का जो पिघलने का अमल है वो कम हो जाएगा।
Gilgit-Baltistan has the largest collection of glaciers, concentrated in the three mountain ranges of Karakoram, Himalaya and Hindu Kush. However, over the years, they are melting down rapidly, flooding rivers and tributaries, leading to massive destruction. Massive floods created havoc in 2010, in which hundreds of people were killed and thousands others displaced.
बल्तिस्तान का एक बड़ा हिस्सा जो है वो कराक्रम और हिंदुकुश रेंज में भी है और इन ग्लेशियर्स के ऊपर भी जो है वो मनफी असरात मुरतब हो रहे हैं और वो ग्लेशियर्स तेज़ी के साथ मल्ट हो रहे हैं। जो अभी तक जो तहकीकात हो रही है वो हर 10 साल के अंदर जो है वो 40 मीटर तक की कमी वाक़या हो रही है। ग्लेशियर्स मल्ट हो रहे हैं, नीचे आ रहे हैं और जो क्लाइमेट जो चेंज की वजह से इनकी जो है बहाव में तेज़ी आ रहा है। बहुत सारे जो ग्लेशियर्स से उनके ऊपर जो है लेक्स डेवलप हो गई हैं जो वक्तन फ़ौक्तन आउटब्रस्ट होती है, जो निजी जो इलाके हैं, नशेबी जो इलाके हैं उनको तबाही की तरफ भी ले जा रहे हैं।
Gilgit-Baltistan was illegally annexed by Pakistan 6 decades ago. Since then, successive governments have paid little attention to the pressing problems. And at the receiving end are locals who bear the brunt of natural disasters.
Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani has appealed for calm from angry protesters demonstrating against the brutal slaying of 7 people from minority Shia Hazara community by militants. The massive anti-ISIS and anti-Taliban protests stunned the world.
Kabul witnessed one of the biggest demonstrations by civilians in years over the killings of minority community members on Wednesday, as the death of 7 Hazaras sparked fear of sectarian hatred. The killings took place during clashes between rival Taliban factions and Islamic State sympathizers. Among the dead were 3 women and a child. On Wednesday, demonstrations against the brutal killings turned violent after scores of protesters tried to storm the presidential palace, prompting police to open fire to scatter the crowd. The protest has put the Ghani government under pressure over the deteriorating security situation. President Ghani appealed the minority community to maintain calm while promising action.
دشمنان ما می‌خواهند با خلق حادثه‌های که رنگ قومی و منطقه‌ای به آن می‌دهند اتحاد و یکدلی ما را از ما بگیرند. آنان دیدند که در دیگر جبهات شکست مفتضحانه خوردند. دیدند که منطقه کور آنان جایی در این خاک ندارد.
The victims whose dead bodies were found on Saturday are believed to have been killed by the militants loyal to the Islamic State terror group.
مانند شما من نیز تا آن زمانی که عاملین این جنایات به عدالت کشیده نشوند آرام نخواهم داشت. همچنان دستور دادم تا تمام تدابیر لازم را که در حدود امکانات دولتان است جهت امن سازی شهرهای کشور و جلوگیری از تکرار چنین حوادثی روی دست گرفته شد.
The Shia Hazaras have been the victims of sectarian violence in the past, with thousands massacred by the Taliban and Al-Qaeda in the 1990s. But a series of murders and kidnappings this year has stoked a mood of growing despair.
Moving on to news from Maldives. Political crisis in Maldives intensified after the Maldivian parliament sacked the country's chief public prosecutor following his refusal to press corruption charges against the country's sacked Vice President Ahmed Adib. 57 lawmakers of the 85-member parliament voted to fire Mutaz Muhsin, the prosecutor general. The move comes shortly after the Maldivian government bowed to international pressure and lifted a state of emergency that was imposed by the government, citing security challenges. The emergency was declared following an alleged assassination bid against Maldivian President Abdullah Yameen. United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has expressed concern over the blockade on the Indo-Nepal border and urged for its immediate lifting while underlining Nepal's right of free transit.
United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has urged all sides to immediately lift the blockade at the Indo-Nepal border, which has caused shortage of essential commodities in the landlocked country. Ban Ki-moon cited that humanitarian organizations urgently require fuel to continue their operations of delivering essential commodities to earthquake-affected villages in Nepal that will soon be cut off by harsh winter weather. In April, Nepal was struck by a massive earthquake which killed over 9,000 people and caused devastation across the country. The Secretary-General underlines Nepal's right of free transit as a landlocked nation as well as for humanitarian reasons and calls on all sides to lift the obstructions without further delay, said Stephen Dujarric, spokesperson for the United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon. This comes while the Madhesi community continues their protest in southern Nepal against the adoption of a new constitution by the Nepal government. Cadres of Joint Madhesi Front on Wednesday night torched a truck and vandalized 3 other vehicles carrying essential goods near the Indo-Nepal border in Birganj. The protesters claim that their concerns have not been addressed by the Nepalese government while reshaping the borders of the country under the new charter.
European Union has expressed concern over threat to freedom of expression in Bangladesh and has sought protection of secular writers and publishers threatened by extremists.
Citing the recent killings of foreign nationals and secular bloggers in Bangladesh, European Union has expressed concern over threat to freedom of speech, governance, democracy and human rights situation in the country. It has urged the government to take stringent action against people responsible for the attacks. 4 secular bloggers have been killed this year alone for writing critically about Islamist militancy. Faisal Arifin Dipon, publisher of slain secular blogger Avijit Roy, was the latest victim of Islamist extremism. European Union also raised concern over the killing of 2 foreign nationals in the country. Meanwhile, the US Department of State on Wednesday updated travel alert stating that reliable information suggests that terrorist attacks could occur against foreigners in the country. The US has appealed to its citizens to take appropriate caution and maintain a high level of vigilance during their travel to Bangladesh. However, Bangladesh Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal said that such alerts were not based on reality.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrives in UK for his 3-day state visit. United States offers to restore ties between Pakistan and Afghanistan. And Ghani government assures action against militants for targeting minority community members. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.